Hi, I'm Stephanie Sage, President and CEO of Sage Restoration. Today I'm doing my second Sage Spotlight, where I like to highlight other successful business owners in Kansas City. I kind of feel like this is a way to maybe reach out and help other people that are maybe in a startup phase and need to hear stories of how people became highly successful, like Burton Kelso.
I don't know if I'm successful.
You know you are.
I'm not either.
You are.
I'm just trying to be like you guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Integral's just following in the footsteps of Sage.
Well,
so.
we're following in yours.
Oh, okay. We're running in circles
Yeah,
then, right?
yeah, we're in a
right.
race. Let's get to get there first.
Right.
But anyway, I'm trying to make this fun and entertaining and as well as educational. Let's see here. So, Burton, thanks again for coming in.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's fun to do a Facebook Live. I see you on social media all the time, so it's good to be able to talk with you face to face and, talk shop.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Yes.
As I first heard of Burton when I was starting in business back in 2010, and social media was totally new to me, foreign to me. I didn't know what I was doing, but I got out there and started. But I noticed Burton right away because you were out there.
I try to be. I try to be active on social media. It's a great resource that allows you to connect with people, and it allows you to stay connected with people, especially when you're busy business owners like you and I. I mean, you want to be able to go out and network and connect with people, and you're not always able to do that because regardless of your level of business, you still have to have ties to your business, but social media allows you to kind of see what's going on with your connections, and you can keep up with them and they can keep up with you.
Exactly, yeah, because you only have so many hours in your day.
24.
Yeah, 24/7 as a business owner. So yeah, you work harder than you ever think you will when you start a business. Luckily, I'm a workaholic, so I just kind of naturally fall into that. And I'll tell you, social networking is key. And if we hadn't done social networking from the get-go, I probably would have been out of business in a year or two.
I would say the same would happen with Integral as well because, there's, I don't think there's as many restoration companies in the metro area as there are IT companies. I mean, we've got competition from Micro Center, Geek Squad, the Apple Store, and then, of course, there's your neighbor's kid next door that obviously, quote unquote, knows technology. So we have a lot of competition. So social media has definitely helped us stay relevant and to stay connected with our old customers, because usually the turnaround time with computer repair should be anywhere from 6 months to a year as far as having, or longer as far as having an IT person come out. So it has been really important as far as helping us maintain those relationships with people.
Or to stay top of mind.
It's definitely.
Kind of like our business. You have to stay top of mind when something bad happens to somebody's technology, their computer, or with us, their home or business.
Yeah, because I mean, think about it. How often does a home disaster occur? What's the average? I mean,
probably once or twice in somebody's lifetime.
Right? Exactly.
If that. Hopefully you don't have more than one house or house fire ever.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And you want to stay top of mind. So if the neighbor has a house disaster, then Sage is top of mind as opposed to calling Service Master.
Yeah.
Right.
Service Master.
Service Master.
Servpro.
Yeah, Servpro. Yeah.
Like you do with some of your bigger.
Yeah, don't call those guys. Yeah. Competition. So.
But in your business, nobody thinks about their technology until it doesn't work.
Right. Exactly.
And then you're in freak out mode. And hopefully because you're out there, you're like, oh, I got to call Burton.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. That's what you want. And that's a good point because you have the recommendations, especially on Facebook. And so when people ask, who do you know that is good in this industry, you want that post that be your company being tagged or you being tagged. So that way people will feel a little bit more confident that they can call you and utilize your services.
Exactly. So what year did you start in business?
1993, believe it or not. Some people joke and say that I was a kid, but I was only 23. So we're in 25 years of business, and I didn't go to school for computers. I just kind of worked at CompUSA and just decided, man, I could do this on my own because they weren't really doing the on-site tech support for homes and businesses. So that's kind of how I got my start. I did some college, but I'm really not a classroom person. I'm more hands-on. Right.
And just learn as you go.
And that's the challenge with technology because it changes
so
quickly. And I served on the advisory board for several technical schools in the past, and that was always the challenge, is that they were always behind courseware as opposed to what was going on in the real world. They were like 2 or 3 years behind what was actually going on. So going to a school, you would come out behind the curve because you weren't really up on what was going on with current technology. And that's important. You've got to be a cutting edge tech. You've got to know what's going on.
So how do you stay up with all the changing? I mean, that must be like constant study. Seriously.
Yeah, right. No, it's you just have to deal with problems whenever you encounter them. I'm sure it's like you and your business. You go out. I mean, not every home restoration's the same. I mean, it's all you've got your basic set of things that you would do in order to start the restoration process. The same thing is with computer repair, but there are certain aspects of technology that change all the time. So you have to really just adapt with those and just find solutions to whatever problems occur. So there's no school that you go to get, you can get certified, but there's no CLEs or continuing education for IT guys. Yeah, so it's hands-on, and it's about being able to solve while you're on the job.
Exactly. Well, I like the way you thought outside the box, and you saw a niche that maybe the bigger company that you worked for were not addressing. And the world's becoming more like that, where home delivery for groceries, ready packaged food that's delivered to you, and I think it's definitely changing just our times in general.
Oh, yeah.
But you saw this years ago.
Well, yeah, because, back in '93, computers were so large. There weren't laptops or smartphones, and so...
and I'm trying to think by that big monitor.
Oh, heck yeah. Can you imagine hauling all that stuff into the shop and letting it sit on a bench for weeks before you got your information or your computer back? But it just seemed, for me, it just made sense to go on site and do the repair work at the customer's location rather than having them haul their equipment in to a service area.
Yeah. So you just, how'd you get your first customer? How'd you start out? What did you do to get your business?
Well, since I was working at CompUSA, the techs in the shop knew that I was going out on my own, so a lot of the immediate referrals came from CompUSA because the technicians in-house knew that they couldn't do on-site service, and so they just sent them to me.
Wow, and people were requesting that, I assume.
Yeah, they were requesting that even back then because they didn't want to have to haul their computer back in and have it worked on.
And a lot of the younger people are thinking, what's the big hassle of carrying your little iPad or your little laptop in? But we didn't have those little laptops or iPads.
Everything was like luggage back then, wasn't it?
Yeah. Kind of like the bag phones. You're like carrying your phone in a bag.
Oh my goodness, yeah, that's just crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, when I was at UMKC, I graduated in 1990, but I remember taking a computer class. We were so excited. It was Word and then like spreadsheets.
Right.
And just the idea we didn't have to mess a whole page up typing.
Right.
Because one little mistake, you had to type the whole page over.
Really?
And I know, I'm totally dating myself right now.
Wait a minute, you sure that sounds like a typewriter?
Yeah, a typewriter.
Or maybe you didn't know what you were doing in Word.
No, I was just learning Word in that class. That's what I'm saying. I was
you had
used
a bad
to using
teacher
a typewriter.
because normally in Word you could just like hit the backspace.
Yeah, that you can. But with the typewriter.
That's a typewriter. Yeah, you're done.
Yeah, get your little whiteout out and hope you can squeeze it, no extra letter in there or anything crazy like that. But long story short, it was a lot of equipment to carry it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Big monitor maybe, or big. What do you call it?
What?
Processor.
Oh, the computer? The CPU.
CPU.
The what do you call it? I'm like, what are you talking about?
I lose my tech language.
The computer. It's all a computer.
It's
two
all
parts,
a computer.
A monitor and a computer. That's it.
Processor.
Well, no, that's inside the computer. That's inside the computer. You wouldn't carry that in. That'd be...
Exactly.
Yeah, you'd ruin stuff.
Yeah.
So here, a little tech tip for you, Stephanie. There's the monitor, and then there's the computer.
Thanks for the clarification,
no problem,
Burton. I know.
Now you know. Now you're a tech expert.
I am.
Yes.
Thanks to you.
Now give me a quick restoration tip.
Well, gosh, there's so many. What would you do if you came home and your basement, your finished basement was flooded?
Get
a shop vac?
Get a donut and just start floating.
Yeah.
But not if there was sewage, obviously. I wouldn't be swimming in the basement. No. I don't know. Call you.
Yeah, hopefully you would call Sage Restoration. But for instance, a lot of people just get their shop vac out and they just start shop vacuuming away, and they'll be doing that for hours and hours and hours, and then they'll think, oh, geez, then they'll think we've got to call somebody. So they call Sage,
Right.
and then we show up with our, high efficiency extractors, and we've got all that water out in like 30 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So a
that's
lot of
pretty...
people want to try to do it yourself, but that's usually not the way to go.
We're in a DIY society. Have you
Yeah.
noticed that with all the DIY
Yeah.
networks and stuff like that? But nothing's better than having a professional come out and do specific stuff.
Yeah.
Because for the sake of time, if you had a flooded basement, how much time out of your day are you going to have to take in order to make sure that everything's right? And
you don't have the proper equipment.
Right, and are you doing it right? Because
if
you suck that, exactly, yes.
Yeah, then
That's
you got bigger problems
yes,
because then your insurance carrier won't cover that claim.
Really?
Yeah, no, if you try to clean up yourself and then, in the summertime, 2 or 3 weeks later, you're like, oh, holy smokes, where's this mold coming from?
Right.
Then they're definitely not going to pay for it to fix that mold. That'll be out-of-pocket expense to you because you should have hired a professional company.
Keep that in mind, that's
that
right.
has that knowledge and skills.
That's right. Don't go to Home Depot and get that shop back. You call Stephanie Sage and Sage Restoration and do it right.
Exactly.
Or else.
Yeah. So what happens if people try to fix their own technology and they have no idea what they're doing? Can they mess it up and create a bigger problem that'll cost more money with Integral?
Yeah, it does. I mean, if you buy the wrong software, if you go out and make the wrong purchase, especially if you're what we call a power user, then it's going to cost you money because you didn't sit down and talk with somebody to find out what equipment you need.
Or for cybersecurity, or having the right firewalls and maybe you can go into that because me personally, I check over every email that comes my way. It's like you can't trust half the time what's real, what isn't.
Right, exactly.
They can really fake you out and be getting in behind your scenes.
Oh, right, exactly. So the important thing to know about cybersecurity is it's all socially engineered. So they create emails that are designed to elicit a response from you. So you'll get the emails about the relative that's being stuck in London, or the IRS is coming after you, or the feds are ready to kick in your door. And people respond to that because no one wants to lose a relative, no one wants to go to jail. So people click on that, and then just simple curiosity. So the main thing with viruses is it's all socially engineered and it's all scam related. So there's really no viruses floating around the internet. The main thing that you have to do is just educate yourself and know that make sure that you take the time to read emails before you just click
on anything.
On any link, because firewalls are important if you're out and about with your laptop. So if you're mobile, going to coffee shops, you want to make sure your firewall is enabled. In your office or in your home office or even home setting, that's not much of a problem because most internet providers give you a router that has a firewall. Well, not the IP address, but the actual device that prevents you from being seen on the internet. So when you get that box from Time Warner or Comcast or I can't even think. Oh, AT&T. It has a firewall built into it, so that is automatically protecting you from people getting into your computer. And the simple fact now, hackers have figured out that it's easier to trick people than it is to try to create viruses that will find stuff. So most of it is what they call clickbait, and most of it is socially engineered emails or websites that pop up, and people make the mistake and they infect themselves. So it's about educating yourself and making sure that you're not clicking on it.
Yeah, I just tell myself, don't click on it. And I tell myself, don't click on anything unless you know what it is.
Right.
Next thing you know, your computer's locked up, and then we're going to be calling Burton.
That's right. To come out and delouse the computer.
Right.
But it's kind of like think of your computer and email as like your front door. I mean, if someone rings the doorbell, you don't have to answer it.
Right.
You can look through the peephole. If you've got a screen door, you can open up the door, make sure that it's someone you were expecting.
Right.
And then
or make a few phone calls first.
Oh yeah, exactly.
So you hear about your relative that's in jail in Mexico, or would you say London or whatever? Call some relatives first.
In jail in Mexico, where did that come?
Well, no, I have a story like they prey on grandparents.
Oh, really? That's true. Yeah.
Yes, where they'll say like, little Johnny is in Mexico. You need to send $500 to get him out.
That's true.
And I've heard of a lady falling for that.
Really?
Instead of picking up the phone and calling their son or their daughter, or what have you, they can fall prey to. I know I've heard of that story.
That is
it's
pretty
crazy.
funny.
It's a crazy world we live in.
It is. The scam is sad, but the Mexican jail story kind of sounds cliche, doesn't it? Like, I'm in a Mexican jail.
Well, you never know. Those kids go down to Cancun and
that's true.
They can wander free. And that's dangerous in itself.
Yeah, it is. But as a parent, you probably should tell your kid if you wind up in jail in Cancun,
you're in big trouble.
Well, don't call us. You just have to sit it out until that way you'll know that they're on their best behavior, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I would want to find that out.
Right.
Let's see here. So what are some key things that have led you to the success that you've had? What are some things you've done?
Other than fixing technology,
Yeah.
right? Well, technology is a very customer service oriented field. So the important thing is to make sure that my team and I are very customer service oriented and make sure that we focus on the person and not the technology. A lot of tech guys will go out and they'll just jump in and try to fix the problem rather than sitting down and having a conversation with the individual who's using the technology and finding out how they want to use it.
Right.
Because computers and technology are designed to work for the whole world, and not everybody uses their technology the same. So you really have to engage with people and make sure that you're understanding
what their needs are,
and how they want to use that technology. And that's been a big part of our success.
That's awesome.
I mean, one of our motto is that, you know, a lot of tech companies focus on technology. We focus on the people that utilize technology.
That's
So,
great.
yeah.
It's funny that, we are in totally different businesses, but that has always been my philosophy, and I train our crews to, instead of just rushing in, barging into somebody's house, you're dragging in equipment, and you're totally overwhelming them. We take the time to greet them at the door, and then go assess the situation, talk to them, make them establish a comfort level, because you're in their home.
Yeah, it could be like seen as a home invasion for most people. People are devastated. Something catastrophic's happened to their home, and then your team's coming in with essentially hazmat suits, depending on the situation. Yeah, it could be like that scene from E.T. when they're coming to get poor E.T. and
or Ghostbusters.
Yeah, when they got all that equipment, people, oh my gosh, what's going on?
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got to have that conversation before you start working on anything. Same thing with technology. You've got to have that conversation and say, hey, this is what we're going to do, or what are your expectations, and then proceed from there.
Right, or they could be, you're assuming they want to spend a lot more money to do all these things, when really they only want to spend, they have an idea in their mind of cost.
Exactly, right,
too.
yeah.
Like $800, I was thinking $150. I mean, whatever, it's
Yeah, with technology, it's, most people think that IT guys are going to be able to come in and flip a switch and then everything's going to be fixed. But in today's world, technology, whether it be home or business, is so complex. I mean, you would really have no idea what it takes to make all those components work together. So things that people want sometimes take longer than what the expectation is. So you really have to have that conversation before you do anything.
Yeah, and you're a big, I assume that you're a big referral-based business if you do business that way, because people are going to trust you, and then are going to refer you on to their friends, family, or business owners that they know.
Right, yeah, we're a 100% referral-based company, so yeah, all our business comes from referrals from previous work we've done.
Yeah,
so
and then
it's important.
I also admire the way that you get out and you get on, is it KC Live or Live?
You might as well just do the whole gambit. I'm on all the stations in the metro.
All the stations.
Yeah, all the affiliates in the Kansas City area. So Fox 4, Channel 5 with Better KC, Channel 41 with KC Live, and Channel 9.
Okay.
So yeah, all the affiliates in the area.
So you've made people aware that you are an expert, and a lot of people are shy to get behind the camera. I know when I started out 10 years ago, to get up and do a 30-second infomercial, I was shaking in my shoes.
Were you?
And my heart was pounding, and then a few years ago, I thought I knew video was getting big.
Right.
Of course, my speaking in front of people has gotten much better through the years.
Good.
But just getting out there and doing it, I mean, you do put yourself out there, especially live, because there's no going back.
No, there's
live.
Not. But you have to roll with it with live. I think we live in such a casual society that if something goofy happens, it's no big deal, and you can
make light of it.
Well, yeah, you can make light of it. You can see that happen in even our newscast. I mean, say 15 years ago, the news was a little bit more serious on all angles, but now it's a lighter approach, and so you do see, that you don't have to be super serious when you do live stuff.
Yeah, I think when I started out, I did take myself too seriously because you're so concerned about how am I going to look, what am I going to say something silly, and I found that when I have a script or I have something in my mind like I have to say this just right, that's when I goof up.
Right, exactly.
I'm better off the cuff.
Yeah.
Just be myself.
Yeah, that's the important thing. And I think when you're doing video marketing with Facebook Live or any of the video mediums, you have to come across as your genuine self. That's how you connect with people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can't just be like, hey,
do business with Sage.
Yeah, one of the things too with us in technology, I mean, there's a lot of tech terms that I won't even use because I don't want that to be part of my normal conversation. So if I get engaged with IT guys, and a lot of times I'm just like, woo, yeah, you're talking over my head, buddy, because I have no idea what you're talking about. And I'm sure that the people you deal with have no clue either.
Right.
And they're just like nodding because, you know, they don't want to appear stupid. So I make sure that I try to engage with people and explain
kind of like when you go to the doctor. And some doctors throw out these, you know, all the terminology and you can't even follow through the same. But some are really good and they say it in layman's terms and you can totally understand and you feel like you relate to them more.
I use doohickey sometimes, or thingamabob. Yeah, thingamabob.
Yeah, I use those too.
There. Yeah, see? Yeah, and you can't, because
thingamajigger.
Well, yeah, thingamajigger. Yeah, you got to use that because you want people to understand that you don't want to use the technical term to kind of like go over their heads. You want to
make them feel comfortable.
You definitely do, yeah,
and help them try to understand. Because you know, well, and I find too that you forget that you're in your industry, so you know what you need to do, but then you forget other people have no idea because they've never dealt with it.
I had this funny thought. So as a joke, have you ever like put a sticker on a bulldozer with the Sage Restoration logo and like, yeah, we're coming to restore your home, and then you act like you're gonna like bulldoze the whole house down?
I could. I'd wear my pink hard hat.
Oh, would you? Yeah.
That might be
maybe you should get a pink tractor too. Like, we're here to restore your home, and then
I can see me in a bulldozer.
Down. Yeah.
Alan would be terrified. He'd like, oh Lord, what is she gonna do?
That's
crazy.
Too funny. Yeah.
So who do you look up to? Who's some mentors to you, or people that you really look up to or aspire to?
Oh my goodness. That's a good question because, I mean, there's a lot of people in the tech industry that I look up to, like say a Bill Gates. But as the years go on, it's like, that guy was at the right place at the right time. So same thing with like Michael Dell
or Steve Jobs.
Yeah. But I think probably the one that I'm starting to admire a little bit more now would be Steve Jobs because of the way that he approached technology. Bill Gates was more the business-minded. Computers are out there, let's make it for the business person. Where Steve Jobs was more like, let's make technology accessible to everybody.
Right.
I hear he wasn't like the greatest guy to work for, but at the same time, as far as his vision,
genius.
It was to make technology available to everybody in an age where technology was more geared towards business folks. So I like that because if you look at a lot of Macintosh products, they're pretty intuitive. I mean, Jobs didn't like buttons on any of his devices, so that's why you see like your iPhone you have to put your head in front of the screen.
And then you swipe up, you don't have a home button. I actually like it better. Where a lot of people, they say miss that button, but I hate it every day. I'm like, how many times am I going to push this button?
Right.
Am I going to break it?
Yeah. So anybody who and there's probably people that inspire me that I've missed. That anyone who inspires me to help make technology more accessible to the average person.
Right.
I mean,
it brings them all together.
Yes, it does.
It's totally changed.
Yes.
How people communicate.
Yeah,
good or bad,
Right, exactly. And one of the challenges that we deal with in our age is the digital divide. I mean, technology is accessible to a few, and it's because of the cost of technology. So organizations like, say, for Connecting for Good here in the Kansas City area that makes technology accessible to everybody. Those are the types of people and organizations that inspire me because as an Integral, we definitely want to make technology accessible to everybody.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That's cool.
I know.
That's very cool. Do you have a favorite quote?
There can be only one.
Only one for Burton.
Well, no, in social media, that's one of the things I teach is like as far as branding is that old movie Highlander. The guys were fighting, and then there could only be one Highlander. But I mean, that's your goal is you want to be the top brand when it comes to your business. So I've got many quotes that I like, but that's the one that comes to mind right now because you're fighting for that name brand against all of your competition out there. So always use that in social media, but for a more broader standpoint, it's one, and I love movies. There's one from Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. So Spock, there's a situation going on where Captain Kirk has to take over the ship, and Spock is in command, and Spock's like, well, I'm a Vulcan, I have no emotion, it's logical for you to take over, you're the better commander, because the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, or the one. So it's all about the whole human race empowering each other to lift each other up. So,
which I see social media doing that because now anybody can speak up.
Right.
You know, you don't have to have money to rise to have a voice when we didn't have social media.
That's
so
right.
That's very true. Very true. Let's see. Well, I know we're starting to run out of time here. So what tips can you give people when it comes to technology other than just to give Burton and Kelso a call?
Follow Sage Restoration online and follow Integral online.
Yes.
Follow our blogs, our YouTube channels.
Email
blast. We got it all. Yeah, email. Yeah, follow us all. But the best tip that I can give is to generally go out and help people out. If you're in business or even in your individual lives, everyone has knowledge of something that someone else doesn't know. So if you know that you can help your fellow man or woman out, definitely do it. You know, let's reach out and help each other out.
And my motto is you can learn from everybody. Every person that you meet, you can learn something from, or maybe educate them on something or help them. So I'm with you on that.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for coming
no
on
problem.
my little
pleasure.
spotlight show here. I'm just
spotlight. I love it. Yes, yes.
I don't know. It's my
I
like
do jazz
my
hands?
creative genius.
Yay!
All right. Well, thanks for everybody who watched today. Hopefully you got some good information.
Yes.
And once again, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Stephanie.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
No problem.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.